J-Real. J-Real.
Alright, welcome back. ¿Qué pasa, folks? This is the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, J-Real. So happy to have you back for this Friday edition of the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. This is going to be one of our shorter lasting shows, which I'm sure you're all happy with. But let's just move on real quick into free agency. Now, Ed Reed has just been signed by the Houston Texans. That's right, so he is no longer with the Ravens. So the Houston Texans are making some moves to buff up their team. Just like the Falcons, the Texans have underachieved for years, for at least 2 years. It seems like every time these guys get an opportunity to make something happen, they blow it. The Texans have one of the best receivers and one of the best running backs in the NFL for the last 2-3 seasons, and they just can't seem to get anything done. Now, granted, it takes line, it takes offensive, defensive help, it takes special, it takes a whole team. We understand that. But they've had solid teams. It's not like they've been really, really struggling in any certain category. So just like the Falcons, the Houston Texans, they're making some moves. They're trying to buff up their team to make a play for the Super Bowl. I'm going to predict the same thing here. The Houston Texans will be good. They'll win 10 to 12 games. They'll be very hot. The problem is when it comes to the playoffs, they're going to get beat out by somebody. Somebody that should not beat them will beat them in the playoffs. It happens, just like I predicted for the Falcons. Same thing for the Houston Texans, Now, let's move on to Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher was cut from the Bears. He has decided not to sign with them. He's going to move on and take his talents elsewhere, which is fine, because they offered him a 1-year deal for $2 million. He has also came out in public and said that it was a good deal, but that to play for the Bears, that wouldn't be enough money. So I don't know if there's something going on there. There's some bad blood or something with Brian Urlacher and the Bears, but he was released, and now he has his talents out on the market. Who knows who will pick him up? We're kind of excited to see. Even though he has been really plagued with injuries, if he can get over those injuries and get really healthy, it would be good to see where he lands, because I'm sure he will make some noise wherever he goes. Now, there's free agency talk going all over the place for the NFL. We're going to go ahead and try to see what goes on through the next few days, through the weekend, and then do a really big recap again on Tuesday's show. So we're going to leave right now the NFL side of sports, and let's go ahead and real quick, we're just going to touch on the NBA a little bit. The Heat won their 24th game. Now, again, everyone's acting like it's such a big surprise and such a big special thing. To us, it's, they're on their winning streak. They'll probably win out the rest of the season. Again, no big surprise to us, but it was important that we did let you folks know that they have won their 24th game and they're on the streak still continues. Now, there's also some other news going on. They were talking about Andrew Bynum is supposed to be having some surgery done to his knees. Now, there's been a big problem with Andrew Bynum. He's been overhyped for a lot of time. People were actually debating whether he was one of the best centers in the NBA. So this guy needs to get in and get the surgeries done on his knees, recoup, recover, and get back on the court, because otherwise he's going to be a forgotten memory. And right now, he's still a young guy. Let's see if after he gets these surgeries done, how he will adjust and adapt to coming back from serious surgeries like this to the NBA. Now, moving on to NasCar real quick. We're not going to be taking any breaks. We're not going to be going to a commercial. We will thank our sponsors, though, here shortly. We'll move on to NasCar. Kasey Kahne has been out of his mind over the last few races. He placed second in Las Vegas, and he took first in Bristol. So, this guy has been very fast over the last few races, and even before. He had a very slow start to the season, so he's playing catch-up. But this is great for Kasey Kahne fans, because where has the guy been? The guy has been kind of MIA for a few years. He came out as a rookie. Everybody was hyping him up. Then he kind of just disappeared over the last 3 years. And now he's back on the scene, winning races and having top 5 finishes. So good for him. We're really excited for NasCar and the NasCar fans. Now, it's kind of interesting to see if Dale Earnhardt will make his push, because as he predicted, 2013 was supposed to be his year. We're waiting to see if Dale Earnhardt Jr. will come out in the end and push for a few of these wins. So, real excited for NasCar. Now, moving on to NHL. That's right, we cover hockey here, the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. Why are we talking hockey today? Our Pittsburgh Penguins are making moves up the rankings. We're so excited. Not only are we Pittsburgh Steelers fans here in the NFL, but we follow all Pittsburgh teams, even including the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, what are they doing? How are they shaking things up? Well, let's just look at it this way. They've moved up the power rankings 5 spots over this week. So they are actually sitting at 3rd right now, behind the Ducks, and of course behind the Blackhawks, who are the big boys on the block right now still. That's fine. Pittsburgh Penguins have been making moves. As a matter of fact, they have been holding their opponents to an average of 2.2 goals per game. That's very low for this season. And they're playing defense. They're playing good hockey. Now, going on to the Ducks. Ducks haven't lost a regular game since like February 25th, something like that. So they're playing out of their mind well. They're sitting at number 2. And then, of course, we have the Blackhawks, who ran on that very good and pretty cool streak there of wins. And so right now we're watching a little bit of hockey. We're just kind of seeing how this plays out. But we're really interested to see how our Pittsburgh Penguins are going to do. We want them to push for that number 1 spot. And they're close. I believe they're only 1 or 2 games behind the Blackhawks. So really excited to see what's going on there. Now, we have just got word. We haven't really talked about this in a while. Since the show a couple weeks ago, we had 2 young ladies, Kalia and Waki, little spotted horse. There we go. Sorry about that. They had gone to the competition out there in Los Angeles to try out for the X Factor. Now, we have heard, of course, they've been back now. They were really happy to get the opportunity. They said there must have been over 10,000 people there. 10,000 people, and we had 2 of our little local young talents from here in Rio Doso, New Mexico, there in the mix of it, singing their rear ends off, and I heard they did very well. They have to be kind of hush-hush on the results and what's going on. They're real secretive about it, but they did. One of the young ladies did tell me it was a very cool experience. They had a lot of fun. They were able to just check out L.A. in general. When you have 2 young ladies from a small town like Rio Doso, and they get an opportunity to run around Los Angeles, I'm sure they had a blast. L.A., I'm sure they had a great time exploring and checking out things there in Los Angeles. But they are back. They did have a great time. The experience was wonderful, and we'll have to wait, and maybe we can have them come back on the show sometime. Again, it's all shh. They can't talk about anything. It's all secretive. They'll send the assassins to their home, and you'll never see them again if they talk about it, type of stuff. But we're sure we're going to get them back on, and they can tell us how it went at some point in time. But for right now, we want to thank our sponsors. Again, the Average Joe Sports Show cannot even be here if it wasn't for them. So we have the Player Zone, who hooks us up with all this cool stuff, Star Wars. We have stuffed animals for the young ladies. It's not just a boy shop. We have NasCar. We have all the gaming supplies and card games, not to mention comic books, action figures, you name it, they got it, the Player Zone. Again, RioDosoMidtown.com. Click on Merchants, Player Zone, bam, you get right to them. Or you can check out their Facebook. That's right, Player Zone, Facebook, check them out. We even have our own Facebook. Just got it going, just got it started. Average Joe Sports Talk Show. Facebook, check it out. Let us know what you think and how we're doing. Give us any feedback, positive or bad. However, we'll take it. We'll even talk about some of your suggestions. We're looking forward to those. We're moving forward. We're getting more people as the weeks come by that will be sponsors, that we'll be talking about. And if you would like to get involved with the Average Joe Sports Talk Show and you're in the area of Rio Doso, New Mexico, please hit us up. Let us know. We'll be happy to have you. Now, for right now, That was a quick show. No hurt, no blood, no serious permanent damage. So we thank you so much for joining in on this Friday show. We can't wait to see you next week on Tuesday's show. But for right now, J Real says, peace and much love. We'll see you next time.
My demon master resides within this hell vault. I cannot shatter it outright, but I can cast a spell that will make an unwitting fool the agent of its destruction. Such as failure. You, Kappa, save this shiny rock, or save the lives of your fellow warriors. Grizzlebrand, the demon I seek to remove my curse. With Avison restored, my interests now lie elsewhere.
Legions of angels have been given a renewed sense of purpose, and clearly strength is returning to our people. Archmages are again wielding their divine power. Once fearsome predators are now subservient guardians. And this reign of darkness will end.
J Real. J Real.